Good morning. Before I start, I'd like to say a quick prayer. Lord, please let the words that I speak be acceptable to you. Amen. Psalms 16:5 says, Lord, you have assigned me my portion and my cup and my lot secure. So what is my lot? I decided to check that out, and I looked it up in the dictionary, and it defines it as one's share, portion, or situation in life. So this includes my birth, my upbringing, my joys, people I've encountered, my opportunities, my finances, my blessings, which have been abundant, my marital status, obstacles, accidents, difficulties, everything, including how I will leave this world. So today I just want to share a small portion of what my lot in life has been so far. I was conceived out of wedlock in the 50s, which at that time was very much frowned upon. My parents did get divorced. I was the seventh child born into a blended family, and all of the kids were under the age of 6. It was very overwhelming for my parents, and there was a lot of strife and tension. It was not a good home life. I do not ever remember my parents having worship with me, and until both of my parents died, I have no memories of either of them praying with me ever. The good thing that my parents did do was they did take me to church. And so I went to church every week, and I encountered a lot of people there that were just very loving and kind to me. At the age of 10, my parents divorced, and my dad's kids went to live with their mother, who was an alcoholic, and my mom's kids went to live with their father, which was also a very bad situation. And my parents told me that I would be living with my father. So at the age of 10, I started cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, and even doing the grocery shopping, which most of the time I did from my bicycle. My dad had a job that took him out of town a lot. Most of the time he'd leave Monday morning, come back Friday night. Sometimes he didn't even come back on the weekends. So fortunately we had a little apartment in our house, and there was a woman with her kids that lived there, so I wasn't alone in the house, but she worked the night shift, so I hardly ever saw her. I really was alone, basically, from the age of 10. And my dad, when he'd go out of town, would usually give me $20 and say, Chris, if you need more food, if you need anything, here, you go get it. And I remember one time I went shopping, and it was a type of store kind of like a Walmart. And I got very distracted by the clothes, and I ended up buying myself an outfit instead of food. And I got pretty hungry that week, but it taught me a very valuable lesson about priorities and how to spend money. When my dad would not come home on weekends, there was a very kind and wonderful lady who would drive out of her way to pick me up and bring me to church. She would take me home for lunch, and I spent the day with their family. And often I spent the night there too. And I tell you, she meant so much to me. I'm forever grateful for those times that she took me under her wings. And I just want to ask you all, if there's anybody around you that you see, particularly a young person, that you think you could step in and be a mentor to them, please do not hesitate. You will make a world of difference in their life. After my parents, at the age of 10, my parents got divorced, and I gave my life to the Lord. I was baptized when I was 12. And I knew that this was just what I wanted all of my life. And my mom left the church, and she wanted me to do a lot of things that I did not feel comfortable or did not want to do. And so I would frequently tell her, no, I don't want to go with you. I don't want to do that. And so we had a very, very strained relationship. But I'm very grateful that before she died at the age of 51, she came back to the Lord and she came back to the church, and I'm really grateful for that. Between both of my parents, I experienced 7 divorces and 8 marriages. And so this led me to the conclusion that I wanted to break the cycle. I did not ever want to experience a divorce myself. And so that was my goal in life. My dad remarried when I was 13, and it was not a good situation. So I begged my parents, please let me go to a boarding academy. And they did let me go. I worked 2 and 3 jobs. I worked every summer. I worked everything to be able to stay in that academy. I really never went home after that except for Christmas or occasional visits. And that environment was a true blessing in my life. I felt safe there. I didn't have to deal with a lot of serious family issues. And again, a lot of faculty embraced me, nurtured me, and mentored me. And I will forever be grateful to those that took me in and helped me through those academy years. After that, I came to Andrews, and I had many side tracks along the way. I spent 2 years overseas. I switched schools a few times, switched majors. So it took me about 10 years to graduate with my bachelor's, but I finally made it. And then came marriage. And I will forever be grateful for all the positive and negative things that happened during my 40 years of marriage. But unfortunately, 5 years ago, it came to a very traumatic and dramatic end. Since that time, I have been on a journey, a continued journey, and I want you to know I'm very, very grateful to all of you who stepped in, who prayed with me, who cried with me, who embraced me. And I have a lot of friends that aren't in this church that are around this area that really, really helped me through this situation. I spent a lot of time praying, a lot of time crying, and reading my Bible. And 2 of my prayers, had 3 prayers. One is, Lord, I do not want to be bitter about any situation that has happened in my life. I do not want bitterness in my life. It's a poison, and I don't want that. And also that I would accept my circumstances with peace and with joy. And I continue to pray for all of those that are involved in that situation. I'm very grateful for my 2 sons that came out of that marriage. And I do not hold any bitterness for anybody for anything. So someone posted recently on Facebook that we are not all in the same boat, but we're all in the same storm. And I just thought that was really profound, because I look around this church and I know there are several people that have been through very traumatic and dramatic events. And I've really seen this church pull together recently in ways that I had not seen before. You know, we've helped each other move, cut trees, taken meals to people, prayed for people, and I really hope that we will continue in this loving and positive atmosphere and to reach out to others too. Jeremiah 29:12, 11, and 12 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen." So in closing, I just want to say, even though I've had several hardships in my life, I've also had abundant blessings and abundant joy. And I'm just grateful for the journey that I've been on. And the song, "It Is Well With My Soul," is deeply meaning to me. And at this point, I just want to say that now and in the future, I hope I can always say to God, whatever my lot, whatever my future, whatever now, you've taught me to say, it is well with my soul.